Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video, we will be taking a look at how you can import contacts into Hubspot. Now, there are a few different methods that you can use in order to import your contacts. Whether you are importing your contacts from an Excel or Google Sheets file, whether you want to connect Hubspot up to another tool that you are using and import your contacts this way, or even if you manually want to import all of these contacts one by one, I will show you how to do that as well. Before we jump in, if you do not yet have a Hubspot account, you can sign up to Hubspot for free using the top link in the description. So to import leads into Hubspot, we essentially have a few different ways to do this. The first is we can import contacts from a spreadsheet. So no matter if you are using Excel or Google Sheets or any of the other spreadsheet software out there, we can use this in order to add contacts into Hubspot. And the way that we do this is we add columns at the top that correspond to some of the columns that we see right here. So as you can see, we have the name, and now this needs to be organized into first name and last name. If, for example, I just typed a column and said name, and then typed in like Ryan Smith, this wouldn't format properly. And Hubspot would be like, okay, I don't really know what to do. Although it says name right here, we do need to format this into first and last name, as you can see right here. We then have email, which is going to correspond to this, and phone number. Now, if we were to leave one of these blank, like this, for example, then that is absolutely fine. It's just going to go in like this, where we don't have a phone number added. So I will leave this blank to show you how this will look. Now, for some of these sections, like contact owner, primary company, all of these, we don't have to add these if you don't have this information. So don't think that because primary company is here, we have to add this, but we can if we want. So for example, I will create a new section and call this primary company. And then we can set Ryan Smith to G Force North, and we will just leave the rest blank. So we look through here and we look for the information that we can add in, but you don't absolutely have to. Now, if you have a column that you don't see here, so for example, if I had a column that was like lead source, just like this, you can see that we don't have this in this contact section. So there is no category for contact source. So if I was just to export this spreadsheet right here and add this into Hubspot, Hubspot would understand all of this, but it would get to lead source. And because we don't have this as an option, it would be like, I'm not really sure what you want me to do with this. So if you do have any columns that you don't see in Hubspot, we need to add these in before we import the contacts. Now, the way that we do this is we go up to settings in this top right corner. And then from this left-hand side, we need to make sure that we are in contacts. So select contacts. And then right here, we can see under setup, manage contact properties. So we just click into this. And in here, we can now go ahead and add in the category that isn't yet added. So I would go here and create property. And then this is going to pop up. So we need to make sure this is still in contact. Then from the group, we want to go in here and set this to contact information. So contact information right here, because this is what it is. We are adding contacts. This is contact information. And then for the label right here, we want to set this to exactly what we have at the top. So I'm going to go to label and add this as lead source. And then for the description, you can leave this blank if you want to, but I'm just going to go ahead here and say how we acquired, apparently I spelled this wrong, acquired these leads. Then we can click on next. Select the field type right here. So what this field type is, and I'm just going to set this to single line text as it makes it easier. Then we can click on next right here. And for all of these, we will just leave this as it is and click on create. And now, because we just created lead source, Hubspot is going to understand what this means and where to put this when we add the lead source in. So I will show you right here. We will go for like Facebook, Instagram, and then for these other two, we'll go Facebook and Facebook. So once you have that all added in and we have the information right here, I'll just bold these, but that's not necessary. What we can then do is go up to save, and I'm actually going to save this as example contacts. We go up to file, download, and we want to download this as a Microsoft Excel. So this is a Microsoft Excel file. Even though we are using Google Docs, we want to download this as an Excel file, just like that. So as you can see, example contacts is now downloaded. So all we now have to do is go back into CRM and then contacts. And then from here, we can click on import in this top right corner. And then it says add your existing contacts. Just say I'll set it up myself. In here, we can then choose between import and sync. Now we want to import this, so we can click on start import. And then it's going to ask, how would you like to start? So we have import file from computer, import an opt-out list, or repeat a past import. For this, we are importing a file for our computer. So we select this and next. And then it's going to say what kind of data is in your file. Is this deals? Is this line items? Is this contacts? Is this companies? We are going to go for contacts and then click on next. And then in here, we can click on choose a file and choose the file that we just created. So we drop this in. And then from here, it says choose how to import contacts. So we can go for create and update contacts, which is essentially what this is going to do, is it's going to create the new contacts that we just added. But if it already sees a contact that exists, so let's say for Simon Peters, we already have some contacts, but maybe his phone number changed. What it would do is it would find Simon Peters, find the same email, but realize the phone number is changed, and it would update that on the CRM. So we have that. We can either create new contacts only, or only update existing contacts. So I'm just going to stick with create and update. From here, we can then click on next. And then from here, it's going to show us all of the different contacts that we are adding. So it's going to show us if this is mapped and it understands. So it understands first name, it understands last name, it understands lead source, but primary company, it doesn't understand. So if you get this where we don't have a green icon, what we can do is we can map this ourselves. So for primary company, I will go in here and let's just search for company. And this is going to be company name, so we can set that up. Then once all of these are mapped and HubSpot understands what you want to do, we click on next. We can then choose a import name. So we'll just call this example contacts. And we can also choose to create a list from this import. So if we select this, it's going to create a specific list only for the contacts that we just imported. So once again, I'm happy with this. I agree and finish. And just like that, this import is now processing. So once that is done, we can go back over to CRM and then into contacts. And then those contacts have now been added. So we can see the name, the email, the phone number, the primary company. And the only thing that we can't see in here is going to be the lead source that we just created. So if you want to add that in, then we can just go edit columns. And then we can add a new column right here. So let's say lead source. Then we can make sure this is on. We can also rearrange these. So let's say the lead source is going to be right here after contact owner. Click on apply. And just like that, the lead source is now added in. I also forgot to show you when we created the list. So if we now go down to lists, you will see that all of the contacts that we added from the document right here, they will be added into this list and we can see all of those contacts. So that's how you can organize this into lists as well. We also have another option in terms of importing contacts. So we can go up to import, and instead of importing from a list or a document like we just did, we can sync HubSpot between other apps. So if we go set up a sync, you can see these are all of the apps that we have access to. And as an example, you might have been using MailChimp as your email marketing software, and you might want to import contacts from there. So to do this, what we can do is we can go to MailChimp right here, and then we would just go through and install the app. Go ahead and install MailChimp right here, sign into your account. And then once you have that installed, you will be able to go through, and HubSpot literally walks you through this step by step. You will be able to grab all of your contacts inside of MailChimp and drag them over into HubSpot. Alternatively, if you have another email marketing solution that we don't see right here. So for example, let's see if we have MailerLite. Okay, so we do. But let's say as an example that we don't see this and you are using some kind of email marketing software that doesn't show up right here. Then how can we import these? All we would do is go over to that email marketing tool. So let's say in this example, MailerLite, I can go ahead and sign in. And then if I go to my subscribers right here, you can see I just have some example emails. But what we can do is we can select all of these, then go to actions, and then you can see we can export CSV. So we can click on this. And as you can see, this is now going to export. So this is now a downloadable file. We can download this right here. And that file is now imported. For some reason, it grabbed 2, but that doesn't matter. Then we can go back over, and just like we did before with the Excel file, we start an import, import file from computer, and next, contacts, next. And then for the file that we drag in, we just grab the file that we just got from MailerLite or your other email marketing software. And the only difference between this, the only downside to doing it this way, is that these won't be mapped. So we need to map them ourselves. So what we can do is we can go to subscriber right here, and we can clearly see that this is the email. So we go to Hubspot property and we go for email, then contact information and add email right there. Then for sent, opens and clicks, this is not really relevant and we don't want to add this. So what we can do is we can leave this as unmapped. So sent, opened, we don't need any of this. What we can do is we can don't import data in unmapped columns, and all it's going to do is drag in these email addresses. The rest it's going to ignore. So then we can click on next. Once again, we can choose this. So I will just say that the import name is going to be MailerLite imports. Then create a list, agree, and drop this in. And just like that, these contacts are going to be added as well. So we can see the emails right here. Then once again, if we go to lists, we can now see that we will have two different lists. We have the Excel file that we imported, and we have the MailerLite list. We can click in, we can see which emails were imported from each of these lists. And just like that, we can import the contacts. Alternatively, you can create contacts one by one. It's a little bit tedious, but you can do this. So we just go in, we enter the email. So let's say this person is called Harry Nielsen. And then we can go for the email. We'll say harry.nielsen@example.com. Then we can add in the rest of the information and click on create. And just like that, this new contact is going to be added in. So if we go CRM, contacts, you will see that contact is added. So that is how you can import contacts into HubSpot. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.